Good day, students. All right, so in this lesson, I'll show you how to use Pro Tools 12. So we'll go through the basic features of Pro Tools first, and then in other lessons, I'll show you how to do MIDI recording and also how to do audio recording. So this lesson is just an introduction to the interface of Pro Tools 12 to just show you how certain features work. All right, so Pro Tools is a very important software in the music industry, as well as in the podcast or in the broadcasting industry. Right, so it's very important to learn how to use Pro Tools. Right, so when you open Pro Tools 12, it will look like this first. Right, so this is the window. This is the main window that you see. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to go to File, then Create New. Right, so here where it says Name, that's where you are supposed to title your project. Right, www1, that will be the name of my project. Right, then you say Create. There's nothing else that you need to change here. I leave it at 44.1 kilohertz and leave all the other settings as they are, and then click Create. Right, so now it is building the main window, so you can see all the features of Pro Tools, the initial features of Pro Tools. Right, so normally when you open up Pro Tools, this transport control, well, when you open it for the first time, this transport control will normally be minimized. Right, so that means it will be small, so it will be here. It will be like this. So in order for you to see all the features of the transport control, or to use all the features of the transport control panel, you need to come to this arrow here and then click O. It will be at minimal, so choose O, so you can see all the other important features that you need to be using, or that you're going to be using and on the transport panel. Right. All right, so let's now go through the features that we see here. All right, so first of all, this is the transport panel. All right, so that's where the buttons for recording is, the button for playback, stop, and all the other buttons. You know how to use them. It looks similar to Cubase. So once you've mastered Cubase, it's very easy for you to move on to Pro Tools. All right. Right, so you can always move this to any position that you want to move it. All right, so this is the transport panel, and then it has got some features that I'll show you how to use and when we do MIDI recording. All right, at the top here you find some editing tools. All right, editing tools will also be another lesson in Pro Tools, whereby you'll be learning how to use this to edit your audio as well as your MIDI. So this is the editing tool suite for Pro Tools 12, and then here it just shows you the information that you'll be working with, or the information of your project. For example, the start of the project, the time. All right, so when you press play, for example, there basically you'll be seeing time here. All right, so there's the start and the end, and then here that's where you can also use to change whether you want to grid or you want to nudge your notes. All right, so normally when you're doing MIDI editing or MIDI sequencing and recording, you need to use grid. You need to activate grid, and then here it's just a duplication of the features that you can also find here on the transport panel. So they're mostly important again for MIDI editing and MIDI recording and sequencing. And also you have the smaller transport panel here that you will be using to navigate Pro Tools, to record and to play and to stop if you don't want to use the transport panel. All right, and then here on the empty space, right, that's where your tracks will be. So here, that's where you open tracks. I will show you how to open tracks in other lessons as well. All right, and then here it shows you the tempo, and I'll be showing you how to use tempo when it comes to MIDI sequencing and recording, and also the time signature, the 4/4, how you can change it if you want to change it. All right, and then here, let's now go to the file menu. Right, so the file menu at the top here gives you tools like obviously saving, creating new files, to import audio, to export audio after you're done, and some other things. Here there's the editing tools, cut, copy, paste, and so forth. And then here you can view some of the things that you want to view when it comes to your audio. For example, you want to view there's things like rulers and bars and beats and automation and all that. All right, let's now go to the most important things. All right, so the most important thing is the setup, right? So when you open Pro Tools, and when you have connected for example, your sound card, you need to go to setup to do all the settings for your sound card and your microphone. All right, so you need to go to setup and then click playback engine. All right, so here you're supposed to choose the sound card that you're working with or that is connected to your computer. So this is the one that I'm using, the Amtrack 2x2M. Right, that's the sound card. All right, so here there's nothing much to change. So if you need to use higher buffer size, you can always choose 1024 samples, for example, if your computer is buffering too much and if it's giving you a crackling sound. And then there's some other things that you can change here. Right, so normally there's nothing else to change here. You can just say okay. All right, after that you go to setup again. So when you go to setup, you need to go now to inputs and outputs. So this is where you activate your settings for the input and the output. Right, so basically your inputs are found here. So click your inputs and then choose which input you're going to be using. Right, so my input is set to input 1 and 2. These are the ones on my on my sound card. And then the outputs, obviously the left and right speaker of my sound card is already set. Then just leave and say okay. Right, so these are the first initial settings that you need to do before you start using Pro Tools 12. So it's a very simple software. Really, you just need to spend a lot of time. It actually looks a little bit easier than Cubase. All right, so yeah, so these are the main important features that you need to know for Pro Tools for now. Thank you.